My apologies, brothers and sisters, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. My volume, every time I do a fellowship on my laptop or I do a, like an appointment over a video on my laptop, it messes with my volume. I was in the women's fellowship last night, and my laptop has a mind of its own, and it's creepy, and it messes with my audio, and it makes it, like this time when I checked it, it was down to my audio, my voice, or the sound, it was down to 31 or 32, and I have to have it at 100 for you guys to be able to hear me. Okay, so I'm going to read you the lesson from the Lie Remember, and it's video number 13, I think. It's either 12 or 13, I apologize. Every time we turn around, another fertility festival. Every follower of Yahusha is obliged to study and learn what is pleasing to him. We grow by hearing the word of truth, not by worthless traditions. All traditions are witchcraft. If we hear something said to a group of believers that isn't based on scripture and would not ever be practiced or spoken by Yahusha himself, we should not run away, but we should try to find a way to sit down with the person and lovingly guide them away from their error and into the light. Darkness cannot do harm to the light, and it is nothing but the absence of light. The light penetrates the darkness. It is the sword we bear, and the tip of it is the name of the sovereign of esteem, Yahuwah. And there's a link for that, and I'll put that down in the description box. Don't forget to remember. If Yahuwah intended for us to forget the Shabbat day, he would never have instructed us to remember it. When a person deduces how Hebrews 4:3-8, or Iberim 4:3-8, declares the seventh day rest remains for the people of Elohim, those who rest as he did from the beginning of creation, they may also realize why the disobedient will perish, which is also mentioned in those verses. The sign of the eternal covenant is also eternal, the sign between Yahuwah and his people, Ezekiel 20 and Isaiah 56. Foreigners will join themselves to Yahuwah. He is the vine, we are the branches. All who guard the Shabbat will be welcome and receive a name better than sons and daughters. Without the wisdom of Yahuwah's instruction, or Torah, one cannot calculate the mark of the beast, because they are trying to solve a riddle without having all the elements. Having them, we deduce the mark is Sunday. I did a series on this book I'm about to mention quite a while back. The Sunday Origins book details how the Day of the Sun became Christianity's day of rest in order to have nothing in common with the festivals and Torah of Yahuwah. Truth is reality. Tradition is religion. We were discussing why Yahusha told us to be prepared for a very great distress in the last days at Matthew 24:21, and thought of how Cardinal Bellarmine, a flat earther, would have debated about the earthquakes and distresses with Galileo. Bellarmine to Galileo: recant or be burned at the stake, you globalist heretic. Galileo to Bellarmine: well, okay, but watch out for the huge earthquakes when all the stacked turtles start shifting underneath the plate we live on. Bellarmine to Galileo: okay then, now you're being much more sensible about this. So now do you believe it's turtles all the way down? No. Galileo to Bellarmine: you betcha. I wrote the book just to see how many morons would get sucked into the biggest lie I could think of. FossilizedCustoms.com/flatearth.html, and I'll put that in the description box. Whatever the shape we may perceive the dirt and rock we live on is of no eternal consequence to Yahusha, but those enraged in navigating great distances may find it an important consideration to choose those procedures that work best for them to arrive in the right place safely and not die in the ocean. Everyone needs to be kind and love one another, even if they think it's turtles all the way down. Love is the answer. Don't let seducing spirits draw you into the web of confusion. Yahusha taught us to pray that he used the same measure we judge others by with our words towards us and towards others. He also sees into our thoughts. So we have to let him change us from the inside or we're toast. Our standing before Yahusha is equal, and his love for each of us is undiminished by our inability to grasp how his creation operates. We must show we love one another in spite of our differences. His love overwhelms the trivial wisdom we may think we possess. He shares his thoughts with us in order for us to conquer with love, not knowledge. There are new lies appearing all the time to take us off course. Yahusha is our foundation. We fail because we allow the enemy to divide us, not because we perceive something to be flat or spherical. Kings will shut their mouths at the sight of him. The branches draw their life from the root. We all have so much to learn from the gardener. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. John or Yehukanan 15:1. We share in the life of the vine when connected to the root, Yahusha. We are his vineyard, his garden, Kerem. See, my servant shall work wisely. He shall be exalted and lifted up and very high. As many were astonished at you, so the disfigurement beyond any man's, and his form beyond the sons of men. He shall likewise startle many nations. Sovereigns shut their mouths at him, for what had not been recounted to them they shall see, and what they had not heard they shall understand. Isaiah Yashayahu 52, 8-15. Consequences for rejecting Yahuwah's purpose. If we attempt to pursue our own purpose for our lives, devoid of Yahusha's purpose, we find only emptiness fills our thoughts. Yahuwah's instructions should be our firm foundation, but we're taught to reject them as unattainable and act as if they never happened at all.
I'm never gonna, so much money with
Thus says Yahuwah, your Redeemer, the set-apart one of Yasharal. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, teaching you what is best, leading you by the way you should go. If only you had listened to my commands, then your peace, your shalom, would have been like a river, and your uprightness like the waves of the sea. Yashayahu Isaiah 48:17-18. Yahuwah's purpose for all mankind is to learn how to love. Failure to teach children the Ten Commandments breeds cold hatred, jealousy, violence, and selfish desires without bounds. When I was a child, I was spoiled rotten, and I was a little brat. But now, since I've awoken to the truth about 5 years ago, after my grandma's passing, I have become more humble and meek. Societies unravel because his Torah is not taught, and the effects are devastating. The ultimate punishment for disobeying the Ten Commandments is being vomited out of your land. This is now happening everywhere because Yahuwah can do a spring cleaning to the entire planet to let the remaining nations know that he means what he says. Isaiah 24, Mattiyahu 24, Ual 2, or Joel 2, Malachi 4, and Malachi 4, 1-6. Have you read Ecclesiastes 12, 13, and 14? Do we live by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Yahuwah? Or are we trained by a beast and live according to the traditions of men, which is witchcraft? What scripture first awakened you? For Lu, it was the entire 53rd chapter of Isaiah or Yashayahu. Even the jabbering English words, mashed and mutilated through the various translations, did not hold back a powerful voice taking over his inner thoughts in those moments. He had chill bumps all over and filled with the desire to learn the name of the one revealing himself to him. All Lu saw in that chapter was Lord and God, the term used by the Norse pagans for the sun. The true creator was calling him to look at the preface of that NIV translation. The translators admitted they had followed the tradition of replacing the Hebrew name with Lord for the English proper noun. Lou had never picked up and read any translation of Yahuwah's word in his life up to that point, and he was 35 years old. After reading the preface and about the translator's own admission to replacing of the Hebrew name with what they referred to as a device for the English-speaking word with the word LORD in all caps, he felt a very noticeable rage welling up inside the core of his chest.
Please, you're yelling.
After reading the preface and about the translator's own admission to replace the Hebrew name with what they referred to as a device for the English-speaking world with the word LORD in all caps, he felt a very noticeable rage welling up inside the core of his chest. That wasn't him, it was Yahuwah. He is enraged and shared his mind on that point with his mind. The 4 vowels of his name do not sound like or have any connection with the English term LORD, but sound like or have.
I'm working my ass off and I'm not getting no help.
But to transfer the meaning of LORD to Hebrew and a proper noun or name, it would be best associated with Baal. LORD was originally brought over into our jabbering lip English by the 1611 Anglican Catholic translations from Dominus, which the KJV translators used from the Latin Vulgate. Dominus means LORD. Eusebius Hieronymus between 391 to 403. He used the Latin Dominus for the name, since the Greek word kurios, meaning LORD, had been used in the later copies of the LXX or Septuagint. I didn't know that. Now I don't want to read the Septuagint on here. The basis for that from the corrupted vowel marks invented by the Masoretes, a sect of
Roscoe, we
traditionalists
know. I know there's a vehicle up. It's not nobody for here.
Who transcribed altered pronunciations of certain Hebrew words, most especially to avoid the possible utterance of the true Hebrew name. The invented marks, uninspired alterations, cued any reader of the 4 vowels, Yod, He, Ua, He, to say Adoni aloud, which, by the way, means LORD, or master. The name Yahuwah is the key of knowledge, and Yahusha scolded the traditions of men that had forbidden uttering it. See Luke 11:52. A Vatican decree issued August 13, 2008 forbids the use of the name, following the tradition of both habit and the Yehudi tradition of avoiding its use. You can also look up fossilizedcustoms.com/tetragrammaton.html. I'm sorry I had to redo this video today. It was an important video with important information that everyone needs to know. I love you all, brothers and sisters, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. And I hope you guys will watch this video because I did post it earlier, but the sound wasn't working, and I don't have an editor. I don't have a way to edit my videos. I love you all. Shalom.